The movie starts with a soldier named Logan Thibault, who is on a battlefield. While he is resting, he sees a bright light flashing from some old ruins nearby. He gets curious and goes to check it out. When he picks it up, he finds it is just a photograph of a pretty woman. But just as he puts the photo in his pocket and starts to go back, an enemy shell hits the exact spot where he was standing a moment ago. The blast knocks him out cold. When he wakes up from his coma, he finds out that all of his fellow soldiers died right there, and he was the only one who made it. Still, Logan knows deep inside that this so-called protection does not really belong to him. Over the next few days, he asks almost everyone in his unit about the photo, but he cannot find out who the woman is, so he just decides to hold on to it. Strangely, from that point on, Logan keeps getting out of dangerous situations every single time. Even his teammates start joking about his amazing luck. They tell him that if he makes it out of the army alive, he should find the girl in the photo and thank her personally. But right after they say that, an explosion hits them, swallowing everything in a wave of heat. Yet Logan survives once again and makes it back to his hometown safely. In his hometown, Logan intends to start a normal life with his sister and 2 nephews. He thinks that leaving the battlefield behind will bring peace to his mind, but the effects of war still follow him like a dark cloud. His nerves are so worn out that he finds it hard to fit into a normal life. Even a small sound that reminds him of war can make him jumpy. It is only when his sister turns off his nephew's video game that Logan can finally relax for a moment. He believes that more rest will help him, but when the kids try to wake him up, he gets scared and accidentally chokes his nephew. This once warm and cozy home now feels broken because of his fear and sensitivity. Logan feels terrible about himself. He cannot figure out why he got to live while his teammates' lives ended on that battlefield. Logan does not even know where he belongs anymore. That photo, which saved him so many times, has become his only reason to keep going. He wants to find all the answers and understand why this connection exists. So, he leaves without telling his sister goodbye. He packs his bag, takes his dog Zeus, and starts a long, uncertain journey of 1,500 kilometers. He walks through the first light of morning and follows the last glow of sunset. There are no loud markets or sounds of battle here, only the calm of the road and peaceful sights. Being out in nature slowly helps Logan relax. The white lighthouse he has not seen in a long time stands tall where the water meets the sky, as if waiting for him to return. Logan does not take a break and starts asking people about the woman in the photo. After working hard, he finally gets a lead at a local bar. It turns out her name is Elizabeth Green, and she runs a pet kennel with her grandmother in the town. And here, Logan finally meets the woman he feels so connected to. Elizabeth walks towards him, and her graceful figure makes Logan's heart stop for a moment. She is no longer just a picture to him. She now feels like a light that brightens his tired world. But just as Logan is about to explain everything, a phone call cuts their talk short. Logan has no choice but to follow Elizabeth inside. Since the kennel is short on help, she is swamped with work every single day. When Elizabeth hangs up, Logan gets ready to show her the photo and tell her why he came. But the job flyer he accidentally pulls out makes Elizabeth think he is there to apply for work. So, she hands him an application form. Logan looks at the situation and hesitates inside. Even though he wants to tell her about his time in the war, how can anyone easily believe in such magical luck? So, he stays quiet, thinking that some truths need time to be shared gently. And some meetings, if rushed with too many words too soon, might lose the softness that fate intended. When Elizabeth asks if he has any experience with dogs, he mentions working with bomb dogs. She realizes he was a Marine, but the idea of a retired soldier traveling so far to work in a kennel seems so strange that it makes Elizabeth uneasy, so she quickly turns down his request to join them. Elizabeth then points out how odd it is for someone to drive from Colorado to Louisiana just to work in a dog kennel. Logan says he walked. She is shocked and asks if he really walked all that way. He simply says he likes to walk. Hearing this, Elizabeth is sure that this man is completely crazy. She goes to her grandmother Ellie for help, hoping she can get rid of this liar. But Ellie takes one look at Logan and seems to like him. She thinks he is not as bad as her granddaughter made him out to be. Instead, he seems to have a calming presence. When she asks where he worked before, he says he was in the Marine Corps. Seeing that Logan has good experience with dogs, Ellie decides to trust her instincts and hires him on the spot. After that, Logan rents an old house in town and plans to settle in for a while. As for the truth, he decides to wait and tell Elizabeth when the time feels right. But on his first day of work, an unwanted visitor shows up. A police officer appears at the door and looks at Logan with clear dislike and suspicion. When the officer asks questions, Logan answers that he works there. Upon learning that Logan is the new hire, the officer's look becomes even more insulting. He orders Logan to put his hands on the table so he can search him. Because the man is a cop, Logan has no choice but to obey. He places his hands down and lets the officer check him, but Logan has nothing suspicious on him. This is just the officer showing off his power. When he finds nothing, the officer changes the subject and starts asking about Elizabeth. It turns out this policeman is Elizabeth's ex-husband, Keith Clayton. Because his father is a high-ranking official in town, Keith has always acted entitled. Even though Elizabeth divorced him, he still uses their son, Ben Clayton, as a way to control her life. He does not allow any man to get close to her. Elizabeth is tired of Keith's behavior, but she puts up with it, so she does not lose her son. Soon, Logan fits into life in this quiet town. The dogs like him too. To everyone's surprise, Logan is very handy. He fixes the broken roof and repairs the old tractor that has not worked in years. Compared to the bloody places he used to be in, this low-paying job gives him a kind of peace he has not felt in a long time. With Logan taking care of things, the kennel becomes clean and well-run. Even his small rented cottage is kept neat and tidy. Logan works like a machine that never stops. Ellie watches all of this and sees how steady and hardworking he is. A pleased smile appears on her face. She might already see him as part of the family, but Elizabeth is still careful around Logan. She notices that he often looks at her when she is not paying attention. His gaze is so intense that she feels exposed. She cannot tell if it is kind concern or a hidden secret, but Elizabeth has no idea that every time Logan sees her, he feels a deep sense of calm. It is not a natural feeling, but the kind of peace that only someone broken by war and loneliness can truly understand. Elizabeth does not know any of this. She does not get his deep feelings and often complains to her grandmother. The moment becomes awkward when Logan shows up unexpectedly. To break the tension, Ellie quickly changes the subject and asks about Logan's past. Logan is honest and says he only went to college for 1 year before joining the army. Elizabeth makes a sarcastic comment, saying 1 year is not enough time to learn much. But Logan ignores her and keeps talking about the philosophy he loves. When she asks for a quote from his favorite philosopher, he says, "Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple." She guesses it is Voltaire, but he corrects her and says it is Dr. Seuss. He thanks them for the tea and says he should get back to work. Elizabeth feels a little embarrassed for being so quick to judge him. Logan's words feel like a fresh breeze that clears some of the fog in Elizabeth's mind. Maybe she should drop her judgments and look at this man she once called crazy in a new light. Because Logan is helping at the kennel, Elizabeth, who loves kids, has time to work part-time as a teacher at the school. But Ben does not seem to fit in with the other kids. He loves playing the violin, but his classmates make fun of him for it, saying it is not manly. Elizabeth sees this happening, but Ben has never told her about his troubles. This is the hard part of being a single mother. She cares about her son deeply, but there are some worries she cannot reach. One afternoon, while walking Zeus, Logan hears the pretty sound of a violin. He follows the music and finds Ben practicing in a small cabin in the woods. Ben has been hiding here because he is too ashamed to play in front of others. Whenever Logan sees him, he praises him and gives him encouragement. Logan is the first person to support his music, so Ben quickly grows fond of him. No matter what his mother thinks, Ben invites Logan to dinner at their house. A child's world is simple and honest, and Ben's liking for Logan is clear. After dinner, they play chess, and the loser has to do the dishes. But Logan is surprised to find that young Ben is really good at chess. In just a few moves, Logan is beaten. Elizabeth almost laughs at the sight. Before Logan can even finish washing the dishes, Ben wants to show them some card tricks. Since his parents split up, Ben has not been this happy in a long time. Elizabeth sees all of this, and she starts to soften toward Logan. Later, Elizabeth mentions that her brother taught Ben those tricks, and that magic was their special thing. But they lost him last year. He was a Marine too. It has been hard on Ben and on all of them. When Logan is about to leave, he wants to tell Elizabeth about the photo, but the words will not come out. He says he cannot find the right words, and she tells him it is okay. There is always another time. She adds that she is not going anywhere. Watching her walk away, Logan feels unsettled. Meanwhile, Keith has been watching them from the shadows. Logan thought he had left the cruelty of war behind, but talking with Elizabeth tonight pulls him back into those dark memories. So, he puts the photo under a book and does not want to touch that painful subject again. The next day is the anniversary of Elizabeth's brother's death. Ellie goes with Elizabeth to honor him. Elizabeth still cannot let go of her brother. She sits quietly on a bench in the garden, looking at the plants they once grew together and the wall they built side by side. Old memories come flooding back, and all the feelings she has kept locked up come pouring out. She still cannot believe he is truly gone. Logan sees this and rushes over to hold her, trying to comfort her. As Elizabeth calms down, she opens up about the pain she has carried for so long. The military never gave a clear reason for her brother's death. They only said he might have been killed by friendly fire. No one could ask more questions, and no answers were given. All she got was a death notice, sealed away in a file. But Elizabeth is not unable to face the cruelty of fate. She just does not want her brother to have died for nothing. To her, he will always be a hero. He was the one who hid fairy tale books with her in the wall cracks, and the one who grew up by her side. As she talks about these happy times, her sad eyes start to shine with warmth. The memories feel so real that she cannot help but laugh, but then tears start flowing again. Logan feels deep sorrow for her and pulls her close. But when the moment passes, the sudden closeness makes them both feel shy and unsure. When the night gets very dark, Logan cannot stop thinking about Elizabeth's tear-filled face. He starts to realize that his feelings for her are more than just pity. At the same time, Elizabeth is also confused. The man she once kept at a distance now feels like a gentle light entering her heart. Time passes quietly, and Logan has become a part of this family without even trying. He not only cares for the animals with great attention, but also spends a lot of time teaching and helping Ben. Elizabeth feels the warmth he brings to their daily lives. The stranger she used to guard against is now someone she and her son can rely on, and this bond only gets stronger as days go by. They think this peaceful life will continue, but Keith shows up and breaks that calm again. He wants to take Ben to a baseball game. Elizabeth does not want to let him go, but Keith is forceful, and she gives in. Even though she warns him to take good care of their son, an accident happens. Ben bumps his nose during the game, but Keith does not think it is a big deal. Elizabeth is upset by his careless attitude and turns to leave. This makes Keith angry. Logan steps in, which gives Elizabeth a chance to get away. The tension between the two men is heavy. They stare each other down until Keith scoffs and drives off in anger, his tires screeching as he leaves. After Keith is gone, Logan finds Elizabeth and asks why she does not take Ben far away from here. Elizabeth admits that if she leaves, Keith will take her son away because the judge would not give custody to a woman without a stable home. Besides, this is her home, and she cannot leave the place that protects her, so she keeps putting up with Keith's behavior. Logan wonders why she ever married such a man. Elizabeth explains that in high school, Keith was the football captain, and she thought she was in love. Then she got pregnant. He asked her to marry him, and she said yes. She says this is their home and always has been. Logan just wants to make sure she is okay. His sudden kindness leaves Elizabeth speechless, and she can only watch him walk away. Her mind is full of thoughts. She slowly realizes that she needs to let go of the past and fight for her own happiness. Ellie notices all the changes in Elizabeth and feels happy for her, even though she does not say much about it. As the night grows deeper, Elizabeth and Logan go to a bar by the coast. All their walls and worries start to fade away, leaving only the gentle breeze and two hearts getting closer. Afterward, Elizabeth takes him to an old boat that has been stuck on land for years. It belonged to her father, and she remembers playing on it with her brother when she was a child. But the boat no longer works. This place holds so many of Elizabeth's childhood memories. She hopes that one day the boat will sail again and take her and Ben to faraway places. Logan takes Elizabeth's little dreams seriously. When they say goodbye, the longing they feel turns into strong emotions. But just as they are sharing a deep kiss, a police car pulls up. It is one of Keith's men. Logan understands that this is no accident. Keith is watching him and sending a warning. This is Keith's way of threatening the new connection growing between them. But once love starts, it is not easy to stop. Logan works even harder after that, and Elizabeth often stands nearby, looking at his strong figure. When love appears, even the smallest actions feel special. And just like that, they fall completely in love. The breeze is soft and the water shimmers. In their free time, they go out on the lake together, laughing and playing in the sunset. At that moment, they are no longer strangers, but more like family who depend on each other. Ellie sees how happy Elizabeth is and encourages her to take this step toward a new life. But fate is not always kind. Soon, it is Ben's birthday, and everyone is having a good time except for Keith. He sits there with a dark look, staring at Logan with cold anger. He then threatens Elizabeth, saying that if she does not end things with Logan right away, he will use his father's power to make sure she never sees her son again. This cruel threat shatters all of Elizabeth's hopes. She is torn between love and responsibility, and it feels like her heart is being cut over and over. She knows she cannot have both. So for Ben's sake, she holds back her tears and chooses to end the love she feels. Logan tells her that he knows she deserves better than this. On his way back, Keith follows him in his car, whistling in a rude and arrogant way. Logan just stands there calmly when Keith offers him a ride and then says he can get him a better job. Logan stays quiet and steady. Elizabeth's sadness is plain for Ellie to see. She tells Elizabeth that giving up everything in life for a child is not selfless. It is just ridiculous. Ellie's words make Elizabeth think hard. She does not know what to choose at first, but when she looks at her sleeping son, she makes a bold decision. If she can have both love and her child, how lucky that would be. She will not give up her son, but she will not back down either. So, she goes to Keith and tells him everything she has kept inside. She says she will fight Keith if he tries to take Ben, no matter what lawyers he brings. She is a good mother. Once these words come out, the heavy weight on Elizabeth's chest lifts. She used to think that giving in would bring peace, but she now sees that it was just a mask for her fear. Elizabeth feels free. She is no longer trapped by the past, and she runs toward Logan with all her passion, answering that destined love with her true actions. Real comfort does not come from others giving in, but from your own courage and strength. Later, Ellie learns that the upcoming church show is missing a piano player. Ben is sure that Logan would be perfect for it. Ben still feels shy about playing in public and says no at first, but Logan does not give up and finds him in the woods again. Logan asks what if Ben messes up, and says that is the best part about performing in a church because the audience is forgiving. Ben says he cannot go up there alone, and Logan says he will be right there with him. He tells Ben that is how the Marines work. they watch each other's backs. With Logan's encouragement, Ben agrees. Their time together has given them a quiet understanding and trust. When Ellie and Elizabeth come home, they see the two playing together. It is the first time Ben has shown his talent in front of his family, and the happiness fills the whole room. They smile at each other with pride. Soon, the performance day comes. Logan and Ben work perfectly together and give a beautiful show. Elizabeth is deeply moved by how much her son has grown. Keith watches everything and slowly starts to see that he has lost more than just a fight. He has lost his pride as a father and a man. Seeing Elizabeth smile makes him think about letting go, but then he remembers something. A while back, he heard about a guy showing Elizabeth's picture around town. Now he realizes that guy is Logan. Curious and suspicious, Keith decides to dig deeper. While Logan and Elizabeth are walking home happily, they do not know that trouble is coming. When Logan gets back to his room, he finds it open, and the photo he had hidden under a book is gone. He knows something is wrong. As he feared, Keith shows up at Elizabeth's house with the photo. Elizabeth recognizes it right away as the one she gave to her brother. Keith adds that he found it in Logan's place. His words are like a trap, making Elizabeth think the worst. The rumors that her brother was killed by friendly fire seem to be true. Why else would a Marine travel so far just to do a low-paying job at a kennel? Keith says it must be out of guilt. Keith's words hit hard, and Elizabeth cannot stay calm. Logan arrives, and Elizabeth demands an explanation. She tells him that the photo belonged to her brother and that he always carried it with him. Logan tries to speak, but she says he did not come here by accident. She says he came to fight her. Logan admits he should have told her and that he tried but did not know how. As the memories of battle come back to him, he hears the sound of gunfire again. But he pushes through his fear and tells Elizabeth the full story of how he found the photo and how it stayed with him through life and death. Elizabeth still finds it hard to accept. That photo was meant to keep her brother alive, and she wishes it had worked. With everything out in the open, Logan knows there is nothing more to say, so he chooses to leave. But as he walks away, Ben runs after him. The boy heard the argument and knows Logan is going away. He gives Logan his favorite book, which holds all his childhood memories and his friendship. In return, Logan gives him his dog tags and tells him to take care of his mother. Then he walks off. The next morning, a sad Elizabeth goes to the old boat. She finds Logan's tools piled up there. She tries to start it and is shocked to find that the boat is working again. That little vessel, full of her memories, has been brought back to life. Logan did not just fix a boat, he fixed the broken pieces of Elizabeth's heart. That night, the rain falls hard, as if crying for what went wrong. Logan packs his things in disappointment, ready to leave in the morning. He picks up the book Ben gave him and finds a photo of Elizabeth's brother with Ben inside. He looks closer and sees that this man is none other than his old teammate, Drake Aces Green. At that moment, his memories come rushing back like a wave. He is back on that night of heavy gunfire. They fought together, but got surrounded. Drake gave his life to save his wounded friends and fell in the ruins. The image is burned into Logan's mind, and it still hurts deeply. So, he decides to tell Elizabeth the truth before he goes. But Keith shows up first. He looks at the table and remembers the good times they had. He walks up to Elizabeth and says he wants them to get back together. But Elizabeth has had enough and tells him clearly that there is no chance of that. This makes Keith furious, and he says he is taking Ben away tonight. Ben hears them fighting and runs out in fear. Keith realizes too late that Ben is heading into the thick woods. In this terrible weather, the forest is full of danger, so Keith rushes after him. Ben wants to reach the small cabin, but the shaky wooden bridge is too scary for him to cross. Keith tries to get to his son, but he slips and falls hard, making the bridge lose its balance. He grabs a rope nearby, but it does not hold. The bridge breaks, and a falling tree hits Keith, throwing him into the cold river. He tries to ignore his own pain and swim to Ben. Just then, Elizabeth and Logan arrive. Logan jumps into the water without a second thought. The cabin above Ben is falling apart. When it collapses, Keith is trapped and dies. Although help comes quickly, it is too late for him. The next morning, Logan has his bags packed and is ready to go. Before he leaves, he goes to Elizabeth and finally tells her the whole truth about what happened to her brother. He explains that Drake died a hero while saving his fellow soldiers. Hearing this, Elizabeth finally understands that her brother was exactly the brave man she always knew him to be. After Logan finishes speaking, he turns around and starts to walk away. Elizabeth feels a rush of emotions as she watches him go. She wants to say something, but the words get stuck in her throat. She sits there torn, not sure what to do. Logan keeps walking down the road, but then Logan hears a voice from behind him and turns around. He sees Elizabeth running toward him with all her heart. As she comes closer, Logan watches her every move. In each step, he can see the love she has for him. Elizabeth finally reaches him and stops right in front of him. She looks into his eyes and tells him that he cannot leave. She says his place is not just at the kennel, but also right inside her heart. Then she steps forward and wraps her arms around him in a warm embrace. Logan feels her love and holds her close. The sun shines brightly behind them, lighting up the moment. And that's the end of the story. If you liked this video, please press the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.